Do you have a bunker?
I have like underground concrete heavy reinforced basements, but I don't have anything I would call a bunker.
The world's gone nuts.
What's going on?
I'll tell you.
Are we losing this war?
Yeah.
What do you think happens in 2045?
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Make sure you guys watch from start to finish. That helps the channel grow. Hit that thumbs up. Let's go and get into it.
You need to blur out your house on Google Maps right now because you're basically giving criminals free access to your house. All they got to do is drop your address into Google Maps, zoom in, and boom. They can see every window, every gate, every way in. Here's how to blur it out. Search your address, click your home's image under the search bar. Once it's in full screen, hit the 3 red dots and click Report a Problem, center the house in the red box, select My Home, and hit Submit. Google will blur it out permanently like your house never existed. Send this to every person you love so they can do it too.
We're all on medication right now. Did you use toothpaste with fluoride today? It blocks your pineal gland. And they put children on it, and we put our kids on it. You know, it's inside the deodorants that we use. It's all these things to create like a disconnect to God, to serve that. It's like, are you serving man? Are you serving the one and only master?
What did they tell you when they said that they were going to put you on medication? What did they put you on, and what did they tell you?
One of my favorite things that they did is they put me on this medication that made me gain a lot of weight. And I said, I'm not going to take this.
I've been on that.
And they said, okay, we got a medication you can take where you won't gain weight. And this shows you they were trying to kill a superhero.
Representative Tim Burchett, he's that guy from Tennessee, part of the head of the congressional hearings of the UAP disclosure and whatnot. And when he first started, he had this figure. He was like very like no more secrets, and slowly his demeanor is just what's the point? And this interview that he just had was a little haunting.
We just need to disclose it all. I'm sick of it. If they would release the things that I've saying, you'd be up at night. It just keeps getting covered up, and the people that know are dying or disappearing.
He's saying if the nation were to hear that, it would become unglued.
Obama says aliens are real. J.D. Vance says they're demons. But what's the thing comment?
Just creepy timing too with all this war stuff.
If there is a setup, they're doing it well.
Now what are we going to do?
Chris Bledsoe says there's a big knowledge coming this month.
Cars didn't even have power windows in 1969, much less air conditioning. How in the hell did Richard Nixon talk to them when they were on the moon from a landline? He's on a landline on one of them old rotary phones talking to the astronauts on the moon in 1969.
We went to the moon.
That's a crock of crap. We didn't have satellites up there.
Been a landline.
No delay or anything.
More like a radio. But the other thing is
clears
too.
the bell.
How did Richard Nixon talk to the astronauts? I don't know, Neil. That's I don't.
It's right out to the ocean. So this is what you can expect on the rain season, after summer season. Right out to the ocean in Panama Ocean. This is what you get. Panama, you need to stop using plastic. You need to start recycle and not do this because this is a disaster.
Do you have a bunker?
I have like underground concrete heavy reinforced basements, but I don't have anything I would call a bunker.
Hold on, dude.
Not because of AI, but just because of like people are dropping bombs in the world again, and you know, like
I can't decide whether I should move to Florida or should move to, New Zealand or Costa Rica or something like that.
You have a bunker there. Is there something you know that we don't?
No, I think that's just like a little shelter under. It's like a basement.
A little shelter. What are you worried about?
It's a basement. No, it's.
I don't even have any commentary on this, really. It's just how they try to downplay it, like just a basement, just a concrete reinforced basement. Time to swing for the fences, gang.
This is seriously crazy stuff. Well, so what do you think? How long have they been bringing sacrifices to that pyramid?
More than 1,000 years.
Oh my God.
More than 1,000 years. And I mean, and it's still going on today. I mean, there are still, I promise you, we have rescued children out of the most horrific of circumstances. And yes, there was pornography involved. Yes, there was all those things involved, but there's also too unbelievably horrible things that have to do with their blood and have to do with ritualistic satanic things, and all of that is also tied into the Mayan culture, and it's been going on in that region for at least a millennia. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. So do the setup. Were you at the pyramid when you saw this being?
No, I wasn't. I had been at the pyramid. I had been there. But even at the hotel we stay at, there's a giant rock that has a giant's footprint in it. And it's part of the floor of the actual hotel where we stay at. There's giant sightings around there. There's giant footprints within the rocks. There's megalithic structures. And it's just part of the local culture down there. And the mythos of the narrative down there is that there are giants here. And I had really thought that most of that was just, myth and things like that until I actually saw one, and that changes things.
Food is poison. Everybody knows this, gang. Who the fuck still eating? Listen, don't nobody eat, don't nobody sleep in the bed, right? If people still do that shit, they stupid. Listen, it's only a select foods you gotta eat, and it don't cost a lot of money. Listen, we only need energy. We don't need food. Listen, food keep you down. Food is the original drug, right? Food kill you. Listen, they got something in the food called gluten, right? And when you eat it, it turns everything in your body old before you, and it kill you. You die, right? It's high blood pressure, it's heart diseases, everything that's in the black community. And they gave it to us. They made us get it, right? And they gave it with the food vouchers, right? They came through and gave us food vouchers because we couldn't afford food, and all the food they gave us killed us in the future. That's what God Obama.
And what you think CMOS and stuff like that will help heal your body when you eating all these, you know what I'm talking about?
Let me tell you this. A lot of people watch
it ain't nothing that can heal us.
A lot of people think that they can get healed like from sea moss and all this shit. The other problem, the healing is in your mind, right? If you don't believe that you're going to be healed, you will not be healed, right? People don't understand this. And I'm going to tell you how do I know this, because like everything again.
Hey everyone, Justin here.
Yeah, my party track. Like a little dog.
Damn. What the hell happened to her?
Even though this camera is like a relic of history, the day after NASA signed a contract with Nikon, they discontinued this camera. Wow. Because flat earthers were picking it up just to go test for Earth curve and we're seeing way too far. But I like this one way better because of the infrared. You can see way farther with this camera, infrared, than you can with this camera, visible light, even though the magnification's way higher.
He's on the Epstein list. It kind of is an irrelevant experiment. Stephen Hawking's old experiment where he disproved time travel because he threw that party where he made a big deal of like, hey, this party's happening 4 days ago. If you're a time traveler from the future, show up. And if you show up, then I know that time travel is real. He basically used that as a thing like, look, I'm a scientist, a very high profile. There's no way that somebody wouldn't have gone back even just to say hello. I know for a fact now that time travel isn't real, or at least it doesn't work that way. In the future, people would know like, oh God, yeah, no, the Epstein guy, you know, that guy. Why would I show up to his party?
Also, he can't dance.
Can you explain a little bit? No, I just told you. Kevin Hart took $50 million to unversion his hole.
When you get that high profile, the demons are going to be really spending a lot of time and energy trying to take you down. And we've seen this even in the Catholic Church. They'll get the wrong types of people into positions of authority. They know this particular person has this defect. They'll give the person the inspiration. You should go into politics. You should rule. You should be the governor. And so then they'll incline the person to go into that governorship, knowing that because of this person's psychological compatibility with them, with the demons, they can manipulate this person to cause all sorts of damage.
Man, have I seen that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you must watch the news with your jaw open because you know what's happening.
Yeah. Well, I would be sitting up in the house and Alexa would be like, "Are you there?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, the truth is, AI has already become sentient already.
And here's the thing too, here's another thing to think about.
Damn, are you there? It's crazy.
If you say the name Alexa, if you say the name Siri or everything else, that means it's already listening. It's always listening. So think about that. It's not just, oh, it just clicks on when you say the name. No, it's always listening.
Man, no. I said, one time I was like, Alexa. And she was like, yes.
No.
It, whatever tone you have,
it'll match it.
If you think Freemasons are good, watch this.
I'm trying to concentrate, but Mr. O'Neill's ring, that's a ring of my profession. You don't know nothing about that. Okay, can we get a close-up on that area? What?
My grandfather, ladies and gentlemen, I love him, I miss him, he's a great man. But my grandfather was a Freemason. Because of my loyalty, it's tempting to water down the fact that Freemasonry is witchcraft. But Travis, my grandfather's a good man. My DP is a good man. Being good and being free ain't the same thing. And the higher you go in degrees, the darker the rituals become. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about blood. We're talking about skulls. We're talking about satanic rituals. This information wasn't given to me by YouTube. This information was given to me because I had the privilege of praying for a 32nd degree Freemason. I had the privilege of using praying oil to remove his Mason ring. I had the privilege of helping him renounce the pledges he made. Every fraternity had founders within them that were Freemason, high-ranking Freemason. It is unwise for you to think they were involved in witchcraft and did not bring that influence into that organization.
Terrorists. I see it all the time. Like if you're at the grocery store and you're just walking, to the grocery store from the parking lot, look at people's cars. You'll see that Freemason sticker, emblem on the car. There's a guy that lives like he always gave me a weird vibe, y'all. He's always walking his dog with like a walking stick, and he's just weird, y'all. Like I walk past him and he looks down, like just a weird vibe, right? And I saw him drive, and I was like, oh, that's the guy that drive. It makes sense, right? Because I always saw that Freemason emblem on the truck, but I didn't know who drove it, right? I never seen anybody. I didn't know he lived there. And one day I saw him drive by and get out of his car, and I was like, oh, that's the guy that, he has that Freemason emblem on his truck. And then yesterday we were at Sam's Club. I saw it on a car. Like if you just keep your eyes open for these emblems, these symbols, you'll find things.
In the room. He's like, is this ROTC or is this seminar? Somebody in the front was like, yeah, that was ROTC. As soon as that person said, yeah, he drew his gun, yelled Allahu Akbar, and started shooting. My professor, Colonel Shaw, took steps forward and like bear hugged the shooter while being shot at. And then everybody's on the ground screaming, and I see another cadet already on top of the shooter with a knife. He's like trying to shoot me. He's trying to shoot a friend next to me on my left. He's just trying to keep shooting, and we had our hands on top of the slide of this Glock. As soon as we had the gun pointed away from our classmates, I'm turning around while holding the gun, still wrestling with the guy. So everyone get the hell out of here. Everybody run. And somebody call 911. He had been stabbed. He'd been beat. Took an eye out.
You took an eye out?
I did.
How'd you do it?
Finger.
Ambrosia is when you take blood from young
the
mammals, give it to older mammals, and they get a huge benefit. Okay? And the rich technocrats are now setting up a company called Ambrosia where they pay $8,000 for pints of blood from young people to old. Where did this come from the literature that you guys may have come across it? The parabiosis studies with mice. What did they do? They rerouted their circulatory systems from a young mouse to an old mouse and found out that the old mouse got younger. And that's where it originally began.
For those who've been following me for a long time, you'll know I've mentioned this company several times before. Where does this culture with the elite come from? It's been around for a very long time, and it's very strange. In the 15th century, there was a powerful Hungarian noblewoman called Elizabeth Bathory, and she believed that by bathing in young blood, it would help her preserve youthfulness and beauty. Very, very strange.
That's why I say there's something with when you're giving birth, right? I have a 2-week-old. He's going to be 2 weeks tomorrow. Nonstop, y'all. Nonstop getting my ladies. Well, this was different. The first time when she was in delivery, this time we did a C-section, planned C-section. So it wasn't as much blood work. They still came and got blood work, but her heart rate wasn't going crazy. Like during labor, we were in labor like damn near 24 hours my firstborn, right? Nonstop. They were coming in getting blood nonstop because the baby's heart rate's going crazy inside of her. Her heart rate's going up and down, blood pressure's up and down. Like it's just a lot going on, adrenaline rushing and all that. And they're nonstop, y'all getting blood. This time was different. They didn't do it as much. But just yesterday we had to go, take him to his, his little hospital visit, and they took his blood, y'all. And they tell us, if there's anything wrong, we'll call you. If not, don't worry about it. Do they ever call? Any parents out there? Do you ever get that call after that first hospital visit after you give birth? The one and only. After that, we don't go do no more blood. I think that's it. but maybe after 2 or 3 weeks, it's not as valuable.
They always say there is nothing new under the sun.
Is your obsession of the year? Zac Efron is my obsession. He's here. What you don't know is that Zac Efron and I are the same person. We're not here. We're not actually here. It's like Janet and Michael. We are the same person. He just puts on his wig and a dress, and it's me, and you don't know that, and it's the greatest ruse of all time.
It's the secret cave that goes into Disneyland. Now, if this works and it actually does go into Disneyland, I have an annual pass. I'm not trying to steal admission. Here goes. It's kind of short. I made it. I am in Disneyland. It works. The cave is real.
The blood mark on Cynthia's forehead finally explains why she was acting so strange 5 months ago, and we now understand why Ariana Grande quickly regained her strength after distancing herself from her. Cynthia recently performed in front of several thousand people, and she had this red liquid cross on her forehead that looked very unusual, and when you look at what she was performing, it was honestly disturbing. But even before that, the rest of her appearances already felt dark. Cynthia once portrayed Jesus, and many people did not appreciate it at all. Some even said they noticed a strange shadow on the wall while she was performing, and recently she reportedly lost 15 pounds very quickly to the point of becoming almost unrecognizable. We also used to see her a lot with Ariana, as if they were the closest friends in the entire industry. But later, after a certain film collaboration, Ariana's fans started noticing worrying changes, as if she had also lost weight suddenly in an abnormal way. When you analyze the latest videos of the two of them, Cynthia's behavior seemed to go beyond a simple friendship, as if even after being pushed away, she kept trying to get closer. Remember, she appeared very protective and overly physical. Ariana often looked uncomfortable, as if going back to how things were between them was no longer possible. Then Ariana must have seen all the messages of support and advice from her fans, and she eventually decided to distance herself and cut all contact. Since then, she has seemed to recover quite quickly, gaining weight again and paying more attention to her image as a superstar. Today, everything seems to be back to normal, and that's a good thing for her.
And I tell people all the time, I said, listen, this ain't Professor Griff. It says, with their cash and a superior industry position, these white entrepreneurs installed a new leadership over hip-hop, and they began to promote a nefarious niggerization of rap music. It says KRS-One and Public Enemy, with the message that KRS-One and Public Enemy, they said, we were reaching the masses of young black people. And then NWA niggas with attitudes would be paid off and put in a position where they would neutralize Public Enemy and brothers like KRS-One. And then came the gangster rap, thugging, balling, now pimping. Now the metrosexual is about to take over hip hop. And your children, your nephew, your niece, and all the little ones, the shorties now, Tay-Tay, Riri, Man, Antoine and them, in the hood, gonna be wearing fucking skirts, watch. Man purses and this kind of shit. Seriously.
What's the name of
Hauled it, right? Hauled it. That was back in like 2008, 2009. I don't remember. It was somewhere around there, y'all. And he called it. I remember there was a interview too of somebody from an old school rapper that was more conscious, right? More positive. And they shut him down. He was saying, this Kanye West coming out back when he used to wear the polos with the thing up and the tight pants and, the pink polos. He was saying like, he's going to be wearing a skirt. He's going to have everyone wearing skirts and doing all this crazy stuff. And sure enough, y'all, but think about the NWAs, all these gangster rap, like that is the definition of selling your soul. Like there was nothing but positive and, you know, uplifting, and it's still out there. That hip hop is still out there. That's what I listen to. That I feel like that's why I'm in the position I'm in now, because I changed what I was listening to. I changed, I'm gonna have to create a playlist and maybe put it, so you guys can see the playlist of the music, right? Because everyone says hip hop's it. Like there's a lot of positivity. They're very smart. They know about life, and these hip hop artists, and can get you through some hard times. I know it got me through it, but anyways, like think about the soul of selling the soul. We're gonna put this out because we want the prison industry to go. We want crime. We want all this, and they sold their soul, y'all, and sold out generations of minorities for the dollar bill while their kids are going to public school, going to college, and all that, y'all. That's sad to see, but that's where we're at.
Hole that Russia tried to dig as the deepest hole.
Yeah, they tried to go to hell. Kola Super Deep is a part of a Soviet scientific research program in the 1960s. How deep did they go?
12,226 meters.
It's miles into the ground.
Just drilling deep down. And then imagine if all of a sudden air just starts coming out and you realize you pop the earth. That's the main thing. You don't know what's in there.
Well, would you look at that, y'all? Apollo 8, December 24th, 1968. Take a look at the clouds right there. And then over here, Artemis 2, April 6th, 2026. Uh-oh, NASA. Did you forget to move the clouds? They didn't change? What, 58 years, something like that? And they didn't. The clouds are in the exact same formation. 58 years later. Uh-oh, NASA, you got some splaining to do.
One of the craziest things you've probably never heard about is the fact that the United States government, through Lockheed Martin, which is a defense contractor, literally sent an entire airplane full of passengers into a wormhole, which God knows where they came out on the other side. They're probably dead. Now, the reason I believe this with Lockheed Martin is because UFOs will hover over nuclear test sites and turn the Army shit off. They do a bunch of stuff that is counterintuitive to wanting to destroy us. So it doesn't make sense that they would just send a flight full of passengers into the middle of nowhere, into God knows where, in the middle of space, who knows. It makes more sense that the government would have authorized the use of this technology in order to find out if it actually works. And we know that Lockheed Martin has these sort of egg-shaped crafts, which is what you see in this video. You see these three egg-shaped crafts hover around this plane and completely dematerialize it. And that footage is completely real. We have no idea where any of those 300 passengers went. We have no idea what happened to the majority of the plane. They say, oh, there's a little wing in the middle of they found a wing in the middle of the ocean. They didn't find anything else, and it was barely enough to even call it that. And before you start calling me names, just take a look at the footage, and it's completely indescribable. You can't describe that with normal words. You can only say that's some sort of advanced technology that the government has, or some sort of advanced technology that the extraterrestrials have. And I have no reason to believe they're any worse than our government. So,
usually they'll clone somebody because they're not going along. And like Eminem is the biggest one because of the fact that he had so much sway over the population, because he came in and he just totally he was like the new Elvis / Michael Jackson. And then what happens is he makes this song and it's talking shit about Bush, and he's saying march onto the White House. It's called White America. And then after he does that song, he disappears for a while. And they say he went to rehab, but I think what happened is he was killed. And so he comes back. He has a completely different jaw structure. His earring holes are closed up. His eyes go from greenish blue to brown. He's always wearing sweatshirts and hoodies. So you don't see his tattoos anymore. And then he completely X's out 50% of his fan base by saying, if you voted for Trump, I don't want you my fan anymore.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Eric, open your mic.
Have you ever read the book Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper?
No.
You should read that.
No, it's actually in my reading list.
We got it over there somewhere. Well,
it's over there next to
we got
that blue book. You see it? Yeah,
right here?
that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper.
Okay, cool.
He was part of Naval Intelligence. He was killed by the Arizona State Troopers in, I want to say, 1999. Mm-hmm. But in that book, he talks about Naval Intelligence in connection with
Uyghur, huh? Beautiful country out there.
Yeah,
very beautiful.
Look at the cover. The cover even telling you a lot.
Crazy.
But try to get an older copy, because this is not redacted. This is they tweaked it. Once you get the originals, they just gonna be more expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, but read that book.
You need to see this. The trouble is, when you play,
much like, get the original one. Don't take our book. He's going to take that book. We didn't say you could take that book. Make sure you go get the original one.
Play with the devil. He doesn't play fair.
He'll
give you everything you want, all the drugs you want, all the women you want, all the promises, and all the power you want.
And when he's done with you, he'll kick the legs out from under you. And that's why you hear rock stars sometimes say, I sold my soul to the devil. Because once you make that trade, he'll give you what you want. But people need to understand that the devil is not sharing his kingdom with anyone. And I was studying all this witchcraft. I thought everything was wonderful. The same spirits that gave me power began to turn on me. It was as if all of a sudden the same voices that would say this man is committing adultery or this woman steals at work or this girl's going to get married last year when I was reading cards would now say to me, you should die. I would walk around with a gun in my mouth. I can remember the metal used to burn my tongue. I would just suck on a gun, waiting for the moment to stop this power that I had entered into, to stop the destruction of my mind.
If you agree, type amen and subscribe or follow for more content.
My mom disappeared out of the federal prison system. None of that made any sense for the longest time in my life until several years later, I ran into her in a place in Eugene where I was using, and I was like, hey, is your name Joanne? She's like, why? Got super paranoid, got super weird. I was like, well, it's going to sound awkward, but I'm your kid. She just lost it. She's like, you should leave. And I was like, why should I leave? Like, what are you talking about? And this is like a trap house, you know, this is in the middle of my addiction and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, why would I leave? And she's like, you just should. My hackles kind of went up and I did leave. And I found out later that the whole place got taken down by the DEA, like that night. I believe she had connections in the world that somebody thought that they could exploit, and they pulled her out of custody to do what she did. And she worked, from what I understand, tirelessly to take other people down.
Our so-called leaders, they never preach love and God. You never hear real love, God inspiring stories. They preach war, they preach hate, they preach judgment, they preach bombing, why we gotta bomb. They try to convince you why we have to murder people we've never met, we've never talked to, we know nothing about except for what they want to show us. To me, that's pure demonic evil, and it's coward. You're a coward.
I mean, is it ever going to happen when they're like, you know what, for the betterment of Americans, for the betterment of America, we're done with these two-party systems. We're going to work together, because there might be some good ideas on the left. There's some good ideas on the right. There's good ideas in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to work together. We still have our election, right? But we're not going to run left, right. We're not going to say they're wrong, they're right. We're just going to run together. We're going to get on here and work together. And whether the right wins or the left wins, we're still going to work together, right? But they don't. They don't. They say that side over there hates you, and this side over here wants all your money. You know what I mean? Like, and there's no getting better with that. There's no betterment. They don't care about us, y'all. We know that. They don't care about us.
Tiny Earth. People asked our crew what impressions we had. And honestly, what struck me wasn't necessarily just Earth. It was all the blackness around it. Earth was just this lifeboat hanging undisturbingly in the universe.
Underwater. So like right now, I can't think, y'all.
Uh-oh.
My brain's not clicking today.
So... I may have not learned, I know I...
St. Patrick's, isn't that the one that's right down in Manhattan?
When you look at this beauty and you walk in and you can just feel it in your soul. Have you ever been there?
I went in 2017, and this is before I looked into any of this kind of stuff. You know, I have a background in construction, and I looked inside of that. You know, I got the chills. Like, I have no idea even what I'm looking at. I have no idea how anybody would ever even drawn the plans to create this. There's something about it that if you feel it in your bones when you walk in a building like that, and then if they're singing or there's any kind of resonance in there, it's almost haunting to us because it's something that's been missing from us.
That's exactly what it felt like when I walked in. And they were singing, you know, and there was prayer going on and they were chanting. And I walked in and I cannot forget that moment. It was like a 2.5 minute moment. And just, I got the complete chills. And as I looked at that building, I was stunned. Because like you said, the architecture, the detail, it's all travertine. You know, like a whole building built out of travertine. And across the street is the Rockefeller Center. You know, this big ugly thing with a guy holding a ball above his head, you know, to show you that we own you type of thing. But like, that's what you have. You have good on this side and you have evil on this side. That's what you're feeling in your soul. And that's what was healing people. You know, these buildings, they're put on ley lines. You know, they would douse and they would find these ley lines and there's water underneath and all of that. But they were put on these spots because they're sacred energy spots. People understood energy. So not only they got their sticks, they're also dousing at the same time to find the exact spot that they want to be in. And then they're also constructing, like you said, something that just you're sitting there going, how'd you even build this?
What is she wearing today?
I have my skin shoes on today.
Oh, yeah, you do. Oh, my God, in person.
In person.
Oh, my God, look, touch these shoes, baby. Oh, finally, I get to touch that skin. Wow, fuck. Yo.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Did you know this place existed? If not, you're going to want to join me on this little adventure of enlightenment. The Palace of Peace and Reconciliation, also known as the Pyramid of Peace and Accord, located in the Republic of Kazakhstan. Here we have an image of the city, and even though it might seem like CGI or AI developed, but no, this is an actual image of the city, and with the palace right here, and this nice long entrance. And they even have their own red carpet event going on, but notice this bird up here. It looks like a phoenix overlooking the city. Here's a little closer detail of it all. I'm not sure what to make of all of this. Maybe some of you might have some better insight as to what that might represent. But there are a lot of statues and symbolism located throughout the whole city, especially pyramids. And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he has reserved in everlasting chains under darkness, under the judgment of the great day. Revelation 12 tells us of a great red dragon whose tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. We would understand these angels to be fallen angels. But I'm curious how many angels would represent a third part of the stars of heaven. The book of Enoch tells us of 200 angels or watchers who were sent to watch over humanity. These would be known as the fallen angels. At the top of this pyramid is a room, a very large room. And in this room is a round table. And can you guess how many chairs, how many seats might be in this room? That's right, 200. But I don't want to jump to any conclusions and misrepresent what does this Palace for Peace and Reconciliation actually do. A global center for religious understanding and a permanent venue for the triennial Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions. The palace also houses an opera, educational facilities, a museum, university, winter garden, exhibition, and conference halls. The palace is made of stone and colored glass located on a small hill, so its shape is clearly visible during the day, and at night the building disappears.
Watch this.
With the snaps, then there's zippers up the side so that the jacket will fit tightly around the hips, keeping that straight, sleek look that it should have. And very often you'll find a zipper hidden in the arm. And
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You'll excuse the fact that I'm out of breath, but about 10 or 15 minutes ago, a tragic thing, from all indications at this point, has happened in the city of Dallas. Let me quote to you this. And you'll excuse me if I am out of breath. A bulletin, this is from the United Press, from Dallas. President Kennedy and Governor John Connally have been cut down by assassin's bullets in downtown Dallas. They were riding in an open automobile when the shots were fired. The president, his limp body carried in the arms of his wife Jacqueline, has rushed to Parkland Hospital.
The sinners of war.
I mean, think about how non-divided, still division, but non-divided back then. The whole world, not the whole world, let's just say the whole country. The whole country shut down schools. You know, I'm sure they were watching this in there, kind of like when 9/11 happened. I was 10 years old, 11 years old. So, but I'm guessing in high school, you know, school was shut down, put the TV on. This is what we were watching. But imagine back then. Now imagine if that happened today. I mean, our president got shot. Did kids in school shut down the day and start watching that? No, there was probably people having celebrations, popping bottles at that. You know, that's how divided we are in today's society. But I say that we're so divided now because we're getting close to unraveling this whole little game, this whole little system they play with us. That's why we're so divided. That's why back then when they did the moon landing and everyone was there, you know, barbecues, family over, eating popcorn in front of the TV or radio, whatever they played it on, right? Because they had us where they wanted us. They had us by the balls, right? But now we're so divided more and more and more and more and more. There's more and more demonic things happening at concerts. They're not hiding it in symbolism no more. They're actually dressed up as the devil on the stage and all that. It's because we're getting close to unraveling this whole little thing. So they're doing everything they can. That's why I say they're not as smart as they think they are. This isn't going to work for very much longer.
It's things like shrimp and bottom feeders that I was heard that you shouldn't eat.
Right. Listen, a lot of people say don't eat shrimp because it's bottom feeder, but I say this, right? I didn't eat shrimp because of that. But what people say, right? Listen, I'm gonna say this. I eat fish. I eat anything that's in the water. Anything in the water, I consider it good. For me, it may not be for you, right? A lot of people eat that, but I only eat one time a day, so I'm gonna enjoy me some fish, right? I didn't eat shrimp for a long time, but shrimp good, right? But I'm gonna tell you one thing about shrimp. A lot of people don't know shrimp got herpes. But everything got herpes.
Shrimp got herpes.
Yeah, everything got herpes anyway.
World's gone.
No, I'm trying to get in a better, I've been doing keto since I moved out here. I've been doing it for a long time, but since I moved out here, I've been trying and I've gained 50 pounds, y'all. So it's not working for me, but I'm so brainwashed that this is the only way I can eat to feel good. This is the only way I can eat to, lose weight, whatever, y'all. But lately I've just been trying, just count my calories, eat my protein, get about 150, 160 grams of carbs, 150, 160 grams of protein, 50 under fat. And I'm losing weight. I'm feeling good. But it's just the overeating. That's what we do as Americans. That's what I do, the overeating, right? Like yesterday I had enchiladas, but I didn't overeat them. I ate in my calories, and guess what? I woke up, lost weight. I feel great. It's the overeating that's the problem, right? It's the overeating of mixing fat with carbs, right? Had a bunch of enchiladas yesterday, but my fat was like 40 grams. My carbs were up there 150. If my fat was 150, my carbs were 150, and my protein was like 70 grams, I'm talking, I would feel like crap. Probably wouldn't gain weight, but I probably would gain weight. But usually when your fat and carbs are mixed that high, you're not getting 150 grams of carbs and 150 grams of protein. You're getting like 400 grams of carbs and 300 grams of fat. That's how it usually is, and that's where the problems come.
What's going on?
I'll tell you.
Are we losing this war?
Yeah. And I'll tell you why. Because for us to win, we have to destroy the regime. We have to install a pro-American government, or maybe even a pro-American, pro-Israeli government, which is just beyond the pale. For the Iranians to win, they just have to survive. And they've been there for 5,000 years. We're going to have to occupy this country. Think of it this way, too. We had 170,000 troops in Iraq. That was at the height of the conflict, 170,000 troops. Iran is 3.8 times the size of Iraq, with more forbidding terrain. Iran is the size of the whole of Western Europe. Well, we only have but 50,000 troops in the region and 2 carrier attack groups. We can't occupy Iran and overthrow its government. Where things to me were especially egregious, and I can go on about this for some time, was that Netanyahu convinced the president that as soon as we fire that first rocket, the whole place is going to come down like a house of cards. And I guarantee to you, I base my reputation on it. No CIA analyst or State Department analyst or Defense Department analyst bought into that. Anybody who knows anything at all, the most basic, rudimentary information on Iran would tell you that they're not going to see us as liberators. They're going to see us as invaders and occupiers. And I don't care what these Iranian Americans in Beverly Hills say, because they're not mainstream Iranians with their Shah flags.
You mean Patrick Bet David?
I like Patrick. He's a nice guy, but he's wrong on this issue.
Yeah.
He's just
I
wrong.
like him. I used to.
This is not.
I used to like him. I don't like him no more. I do not like him no more. But they just think anybody that speaks up, like he was saying, these analysts, these people in his corner, if they speak up and just say anything against the grain, he just fires you, right? You're fired. So people ain't speaking up. Nobody's telling him no. You know why? Because if they do, you're fired.
old footage. Something about this video is seriously wrong. People say this was found in a collection of early recordings, completely unedited, just raw footage. At first it looks normal, just black and white clips of people, but then you start noticing it. Their faces, the way they move doesn't feel human. Their expressions stretch too far, like their skin doesn't have limits. Their smiles feel forced, unnatural, almost like they're learning how to act human. And the scariest part, they don't react to it at all. No pain, no hesitation, just normal to them. Some clips show their faces shifting in ways no real person can control, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. People online are convinced this isn't just old footage. They think something else is in these videos, something pretending to be human, and for a split second it slips.
Our entire planet was 3D scanned with Pokemon Go. You were tricked into building the most detailed 3D map of the world only for AI to use it against you. 30 billion real-world images were scanned with users' phones while they were catching Pokemon in the streets to create the most realistic one-to-one digital replica of our entire planet. And you will not believe how much info they really have on you. You see, those Pokemon people were chasing were not in random spots, but in locations that required more data. The less data a geolocation on Earth had, the rarer the Pokemon they would put there, with players continuously scanning the world at different times of day, different times of year, providing the most valuable and detailed map of the world that puts Google Maps to shame, who spend millions of dollars sending their Street View vans around the world to do the same. Niantic, the guys behind Pokemon Go, did it all for free, convincing millions of users to take scans of our planet under the guise of a video game. Some users even paid Niantic to do that work for them through in-game microtransactions, and it was all in their terms of service. No one ever reads the fine print now, do they? Documenting the entire physical world at a scale no mapping company could ever imagine. And I don't think you realize how insanely valuable this sort of data is. Never mind just street view, we're talking middle of a forest view, behind the dumpster view, inside your own home view. Mapping data that would allow AI robots to navigate every nook and cranny of the world down to the centimeter without needing GPS. In fact, this is more than 100 times more precise than GPS, which is accurate to about 1 to 10 meters at best. And this data can all be stored entirely locally within the machine without needing overhead satellites like GPS. What they're calling a large geospatial model, LGM. Basically the map version of an LLM, large language model, that our chatbot AIs are built on. Meaning your obsession with catching the fictional monsters of your childhood accidentally built the navigation system of the future, and Niantic's rubbing it in your face, even changing their name to Niantic Spatial in 2025. And actually, they're not even the first company to have done something like this. Google has also been and still continues to do their own version of just this. ReCAPTCHA. You know, those annoying I am not a robot, click all the images of bridges prompts you get when you try to log in. Do you ever stop to think why the prompt is I am not a robot, or why they almost always showed images of cities and the outdoors? Bridges, crosswalks, motorcycles, stoplights. Google similarly charged businesses to use their ReCAPTCHA software on their websites, collecting $6.1 billion in revenue from it, and then likewise proceeded to use that data to train their AI for navigating and understanding the real world. So every time you click on that motorcycle, you're actually teaching AI what a motorcycle looks like, which they could then use to navigate through our cities. The most valuable AI training data sets in the world aren't being assembled in billion-dollar big tech data centers. They're being built by people like you who have no idea they're building them.
Oh, that is a cheesy little baby. Yummy. Oh, what a salty little boy.
So it's a boy?
I had to stop this video right there because this is where it gets beyond weird. You all saw the Cheez-It commercial, right? What a strange ad. What's weird is when you actually correlate it back to the actual email that was found in the files. This is a literal email from 2009 where they are talking about cream cheese and babies in the same sentence. It makes zero sense, but now it does. So tell me why a massive food corporation is suddenly using birth imagery to sell a cheese snack. Is this just a coincidence? Or in my honest opinion, I feel like they're just mocking it in plain sight. The more I look at the email and the ad, I just get chills. Maybe it's reaching. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
The secret entrance is here, inside the H.
I created the Matrix. I've been waiting for you.
Quantum physics is not a fairy tale. Now, can anybody tell me why the CIA just disclosed quietly that they have a mechanism called the ghost murmur? Now, what is that? There was an airman that went down during the war. Now, they try to locate him, and being that in the desert, it's a vast desert, it's hard to locate anybody. They have something called quantum magnetometry, where it can locate the signature of your heartbeat. Now, being that we are electromagnetic beings, our heartbeats actually give off a very faint magnetic field when it beats. So they use this mechanism to locate that signature, filter out all the noise with AI, and pinpoint that person's very location. This sounds like a movie, but it's not sci-fi anymore. We are going from analog to digital to quantum, being that Google has a quantum computer that literally states it uses quid bits, quantum bits. It goes into other universes, gets the solution from the problem that we have in our universe, and then brings it back to our universe. So now we have the solution. The head of Google AI said this. It really makes you wonder, if they are disclosing this very casually, what else do they have that they are not disclosing? And I find it very interesting that since 1947, nothing has been the same. Now, if you don't know what 1947 is, 1947, Roswell. Since then, it seems like we did a quantum leap into technology. Now, the theory is that there was a treaty that was made when we came into contact with aliens to where they exchanged human beings for technology.
Back in the mid-2000s, if you went to a flea market, these would be everywhere.
Get into some Prodigy videos. He did a lot of exposing. They say they took him out. Friday's video, we'll get some Prodigy clips.
This man claims he's trapped in the year 2055, where all of humanity has vanished and he is the only living soul left on Earth. But here's the part that'll mess with your head. He's casually playing GTA 7, while back in our timeline, GTA 6 hasn't even dropped yet. For years he's been uploading footage, empty streets, dead silence, not a single human anywhere. France still exists, the buildings are there, but the people are just gone. He walks into a store and the shelves are packed with PlayStation 7 games, a console that doesn't exist in our world yet. Then he finds a vending machine with one single Fanta bottle sitting inside. He holds it up to the camera and the date is crystal clear, April 2055, but nothing prepared me for what comes next. He walks straight into the Louvre, no security, no tourists. He stands inches away from the Mona Lisa and films it up close. No one stops him because there is no one. Then he heads to the Eiffel Tower and it's surrounded by absolute silence, not a footstep, not a whisper. Here's what makes this impossible to dismiss. He started posting these videos long before I could generate anything close to this. What do you think? Drop it in the comments.
This magician made his entire audience disappear in an instant, and they wouldn't be found until decades later. During the 1970s in Las Vegas, a famous magician named the Great Zappy performed night after night in front of thousands of people. He was best known for making large items and animals disappear in the blink of an eye. On the infamous day of October 33rd, 1976, Zappy performed as usual with a crowd of over 1,200 people watching. But at the very end, he did something different. He told the audience to cover their eyes and count down from 10. Before they could even say 9, everyone in attendance vanished, leaving the theater completely empty. According to some workers backstage, they saw Zappy leave through a back exit door in a hurry and get into the back of a limo that quickly drove away, and he would never be seen again. But 23 years later, in 1999, an archaeologist named Ray Bees was working inside the pyramids when he discovered the buried remains of thousands of people, along with large animals and random items. Eventually, these findings would be linked to Zappy, but his whereabouts are still unknown.
When we said that the revolution would not be televised, we were saying that, like, that
I learned that the whole industry is ran by just like, it's a couple people. If you know that guy at Spotify, that guy at Apple, you know, this person at Rhythm Radio, this person at Urban Radio. Between 4 people, you can run the whole shit.
Which is why at a certain point you decided you didn't need.
Because I knew the 4 people and had the money.
What are the steps that one takes if they decide they're going to run it all themselves?
I can tell you the exact steps. Like, on my own label, because the production is already in-house. Like, the videos and the music is handled on my end. That's easy. You go get the Rhythm Radio guy. You go get the Urban Radio guy. You go hire the PR agency. And that's it. And, like, the labels use them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The labels outsource and use the people that I have.
You feel me? Everything is transactional. You know, everybody's selling feet pictures. They got an OnlyFans page. They twerking on Instagram all day. And then you go look at these ladies' parents. These are the children of the crack era. So their culture and influence is just mainstream media nonsense. So, you know, when you look further into it, you know, they got the USAID program. When USAID was shut down, several record labels were also shut down because they were getting funded by USAID. If you want to attack a culture, first you remove the men and then you compromise the integrity of the women. That's going to cause a collapse. That's exactly what we have witnessed. And, you know, I gave up dating completely. You feel me? I said, I'm only going to date when I get to Apple. You feel me? And once I got here, it was a wise choice for me because, you know.
She was asking, like, are you fasting? And the woman was like, yeah, I'm fasting. And she's like, oh my gosh, like, that's wild. Like, are you a believer? And she was like, no. And she was like, why are you fasting then? And she's like, I'm not a Christian. She says, I'm a witch. And she was like, what? And then she was like, yeah, I'm on my way to like a convention. We're all fasting in anticipation for this convention so that we can get spiritual power to curse pastors' kids.
What?
That is what this witch told her on the airplane. Fasting so we can get power in the spirit to curse pastors' children.
Interesting.
And I just think, man, Beth and I heard that story. I'm going to cry right now. How sad is it that witches and warlocks are out consecrating us, but they're consecrated unto Satan. They're willing to push the plate aside. They're willing to abstain. They're willing to not just push porn aside. They're willing to push pancakes aside.
Yeah.
And say, no, I'm going to not do this so I can get power in the spirit, so I can do this nefarious, evil thing and try to perpetuate the plans of darkness. But the church is over here fat, out of shape, won't do anything, won't pray, won't fast. And Beth and I heard that and we made a decision. We are going in to an extended season prayer and fasting. We can't hear that and like be like, oh, dang it. Like, we've got to do something.
These sweet potatoes right here are supposed to be 3-pound bags. It even says on them 3 pounds. Let's weigh them up. So a lot of you guys talk about Walmart produce. You talk about the potatoes, you talk about the apples, you talk about lots of stuff. You put it on the scale and it's not weighing. Come, let me show you what I found. So these sweet potatoes right here are supposed to be 3-pound bags. 2 pounds. It even says on them 3 pounds. Let's weigh them up.
7.
2.64.
Probably 2.5. I mean, that bag with that plastic's got to be some ounces, right? So not counting the bag, they're getting away with half a pound profit. Don't sound like much, but imagine everybody that's in there buying sweet potatoes, buying potatoes, buying meat, buying, all this produce. Like, it adds up quick. $2.57.
2.57. Not even close.
We just picking up the same damn bag. No.
2.80. 2.83. So you guys are right. You got to check your produce when you're in Walmart. Well, that's why those scales are there. Make sure you use them.
Watch this.
What do you think of artists who do charge anywhere between $50 to $75 for tickets?
There are people who charges that much money.
How much are they now? My concert goers.
Madonna charges $50, apparently.
We charge $17. Inflation.
What with the Ticketmaster charge and
so what do you think of the price you charge for your concert?
I don't know. Production costs are so astronomical. We make the least amount of money. 25%? Oh, net. Oh. Right, $1.75 a piece for every show. For every person. So, and Ben and I.
See, that's pretty good.
Play more.
Never think about that. I love this video. It seems like Kurt Cobain was the most grounded, just nice, genuine guy. Because most musicians and most artists always want to bump up their ticket prices. And here, he's trying to keep them cheap and reasonable for fans to keep coming to his show because he respects the fans and he realizes that's probably the main reason why he's famous.
Those days are long gone.
Money in the first place. So I respect Kurt Cobain for that. And it is crazy how expensive ticket costs are now compared to back then. I mean, $50 a ticket in the 90s. Now that would be like nothing. It would sell out instantly if somebody big was playing. But apparently Nirvana, as they grew, yeah, the ticket prices went up a little bit, but apparently he kept it affordable for most people and it actually was a lot cheaper than similar arena acts that were playing the same size shows. So shout out to Kurt for keeping it cheap for the fans because that probably only made people like him more.
Koreans cast a spell on the world. And,
for real?
Oh, absolutely. It's just like how vampires can't go into a house unless they're invited. They tell you, what's going on ahead of time. It's predictive programming. And once you say it out loud and you put it out there and make fun of it and do a little skit like Stephen Colbert did a little skit on his show where, oh, here's a baby. I'm going to take this baby and I'm going to give it to Moloch. And he goes into like a cloudy red, furnace and hands the baby over and he's, oh, the baby's going to be fine. And they make a joke about it and the audience laughs. Okay, we're all now conditioned to it. We've all seen it, and by laughing at it, we were complicit.
You think that's on purpose? That this is like some sort of a grand design to get us to be desensitized to the idea of demons?
Yeah, for sure.
Really,
for sure. And
who do you
by
think,
the way,
but
nobody's doing anything about it. We know what's happening.
But that has to take there has to be a person or some group of people.
Yeah, like about 8,500 people. Yeah,
that are manipulating the Colbert Show.
They're manipulating everything. It's all an illusion. Like reality as we know it is fake. That's the revelation that guy is having. And he's looking around and he's like, it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Well, the thing about the emails is one of the things is it's just stuff written down. And so that's sort of hard to digest. Like, what is this? Like, what are they saying? Like, some of it is in code, like walking over beef jerky, like talking about jerky. Could you walk beef jerky over to this person? Like, what does that mean?
For all this pizza they're talking about, no,
right.
You never see any pizza.
Right. Yeah. They're ordering pizza.
I'm going to get some grape soda. It's like with my cheese pizza.
Yeah.
And like, there's all this coded language and everyone's like, oh, that's you just have pareola. You're just seeing things where you want to see them.
No, there's clearly a code. Well, that was the thing about Pizzagate. It's
absolutely a code, and in fact, mundus vult decipi, ergo decipiatur. It's a long-known concept, and so in Latin, mundus vult decipi means the world wants to be deceived. Ergo decipiatur. Therefore, it is. We want to be deceived. We don't want to believe the horrors that are actually behind the veil.
Well, I think with the Epstein files, people are, because of these emails that have been released, people are just now starting to be aware of the bizarreness of the code and some of the things, like the facts. Like, let's just talk
Did you hear the cursive writing theory? How they don't use cursive writing anymore?
Yeah, they don't. We used to be taught that in school.
Yeah, that used to be like mandatory.
A mandatory class.
You really have to learn cursive writing.
Why is that?
So in 2010, they made it not part of the curriculum anymore.
Why not?
The reason being is because every single law was originally written
in cursive?
In cursive.
Oh, no way.
All the history
I already know where it's
books
going.
are written in cursive writing. So years and years will pass. Also, did you know cursive writing is the one form of literature that AI can't read or can't?
No.
Yeah, it can't understand because everybody's cursive writing is a little bit different.
Yes, it's
so
different.
You can't categorize it in the same thing.
Oh shit.
That's why they're getting rid of cursive writing. So the next generations to come, they won't be able to read the important amendments or
my God.
Literature, legislations. Yo, it's all just written in fucking cursive.
Yeah. If you want me to read cursive, it's still very hard, even though I learned it.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you have a message for anyone who's maybe intimidated by your eclectic sense of style?
No, I don't know what to say to that. Somebody would say that? No. Hi Vogue, welcome to Rust Never Sleep. And it's the first time we present a collection of the furniture in metal and rusty in a way. Rust had been stopped by our secret chemical. The world is so terrible right now, and we are trying to stand up very strong to resist. At the same time that we are also resisting to the rust. So you can have this by your pool or by your fireplace. It's our lounge chair.
What is the secret to successful collaboration?
Respect, fun, love, confidence, and I think the most important is having the same aesthetic, keeping your own voice, and loving to mix in it.
Do you ever sleep?
Rust never sleep. I'm the rust.
This light being walks in my room. I said to it, I'm not interested in anything you have to say. I'm not doing any readings. Go away. And it didn't listen to me. It carried on and it walked in front of me. And then eventually I got irritated and I said, who are you? What do you want? And all I heard, and when I say I heard, it didn't speak to me like a person. I heard it in here and it said,
wow,
I am. And I said, you are what? And it didn't answer me. Just said, I am. I said, right, I said, I've had enough. I stormed off to bed. I had this vision in my sleep, but I was between sleep and awake, and this light being was there again. But this time it was drawing out all of this black venom from me. It literally looked like Spider-Man. You know Venom, where it's all like jittery and weird? Like that. And it came out of my chest, and I woke up thinking, and then I remember waking up, I wasn't angry anymore. Witchcraft rage is not like just irritation. There's like a burning in your soul of pure rage all the time. But my son was downstairs on the sofa and he said, Mum, can we watch telly? I went, yeah, whatever. So I put the TV on and I just put Prince of Egypt on. Cartoon I liked as a kid, Moses of all the plagues. And I went, oh, Jake, you'll like this one. So I'm cleaning up the house and it gets to the bit where Moses is with the bush, the burning bush. I'm not paying attention. It's in the background, you know, as your parents do, you can hear it. But, right. And then Moses is saying to the bush, who are you? And I'm still in my head thinking, and the bush said, I am. I stopped dead, Ezekiel. I was like, with my broom, and I thought, I am. That thing said, I am. And then I looked at it again. I watched it back.
Change your life
said,
right there.
I am what I am. Googled it. I am what I am. Jesus Christ. God. And I was like, oh, no, you are having a laugh.
And you had no idea the scripture that said that originally?
I never read the Bible. I had no previous Christian upbringing. I had no interest in the Bible. I was into witchcraft from the age of 14.
If you start doing a deep dive on Christian beliefs about the end times and Islamic beliefs about the end times, I'm going to show you some things that are A, going to blow your mind, and B, going to send a chill down your spine. In Islamic eschatology, there will be an end times messianic figure that's called the Mahdi that usher in the end of the world and paradise in Islam. Now, I'm going to bullet point for you what Muslims believe the Mahdi will do. If you are a Bible-aware Christian, you're going to have a whole bunch of like flashing red lights in your head going, whoa, 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 that sounds familiar. In Islamic eschatology, the Mahdi will emerge as a charismatic messianic world leader during global chaos. He will take control of the world and destroy everyone who resists him. He will invade many nations. He will rule and reign for 7 years. He will broker a 7-year peace treaty with the Jews. He will conquer Israel and massacre the Jews. He will establish an Islamic one-world government headquartered in Jerusalem. He will establish Islam as the only acceptable religion. He will come on a white horse. Hello. With supernatural power doing signs and wonders. He will be assisted by a powerful prophet. Now listen, if any of that sounds familiar, it is a precise description of the Bible's Antichrist. Islam's Mahdi is the Christian Antichrist. Now, let me go one last layer deeper. If you view Ezekiel 38 as an eschatological prophecy, then what you're waiting for is that at the end, a bunch of nations in the world will gather against Israel. They will wage a multi-front war, and it's going to look like Israel is going to be destroyed, and that at that moment is the moment that Jesus Christ will return, war horse, tattoo on his thigh, fire in his eyes, sword out of his mouth, and he will destroy them and put down the enemies of God. Now, dude, here's what's insane. It's using the names for those nations in the time that Ezekiel was written. Gog and Magog corresponds to primarily Russia and Central Asia. Meshech and Tubal, that's Turkey. Persia is Iran. Cush is Sudan. Put is Libya. Gomer is Turkey. And Beth Togarmah is also Turkey. All but one of those today are Islamic nations. And guess what is the fastest growing religion in the only one of those nations that is not yet an Islamic nation? Russia. Islam.
Wow.
I'm just telling you, man, I don't know how to read these things without at least wondering if Islam, the rise of Islam, is ushering in the events of the biblically prescribed end times. Now listen, Christians should love Muslims. God loves all people, wants to save all people. They're Gentiles too that God wants to save. Christians should hate Islam. It is a demonic ideology and religion that destroys and enslaves the people that adhere to it.
How much money was spent on autism in Minnesota in 2017, Governor?
I don't have those numbers in front of me, Congresswoman.
Did you prepare for this hearing today? Did you do any preparation
I take
for this
Congress
hearing today?
seriously.
And you've seen the numbers about autism fraud in Minnesota. So we're going to do some Minnesota math with you today, okay? Are you ready? How much money was spent on 2017 for autism in Minnesota? How much?
I don't know. I wasn't the governor.
Okay. Did you not just say that you prepared for this hearing today? $1 million, okay? A quick Google search or using your AI could tell you $1 million was spent. How much money was spent on autism in Minnesota in 2024?
I don't have the number in front of me. As
Were you governor in 2024?
I was, but I'm not the
Okay,
head
so
of the
your
HHS.
excuse before that you didn't know what 2017 autism numbers were because you were not governor, and today you can't answer the numbers about 2024 as governor, and you still said you prepared for this hearing today. It's unbelievable. $343 million was spent in 2024. What percent increase is that from 1 million to 343 million? What percentage increase is that?
I'm not here to be your prop. Go ahead and tell me.
Are you governor of Minnesota or not?
Yes, I am. I'm not.
Well,
I'm
when
not
I'm
a prop
governor of
for a
South
member of
Carolina,
Congress.
you can sure as hell bet that I'm going to know the math. The math is 34,200% increase, an increase of 343 times what it was in this time period. Do you know the number of children in Minnesota?
I know that Minnesota ranked as a top 3 state for children
What is the
in the
total
last year.
population in Minnesota?
5.7 million.
Okay. What is the total population of children in Minnesota?
I don't have the number in front of me
Are
right now.
you governor of Minnesota?
I know 400,000 were cut out of health care last
Okay,
week by
that's
the
not-
actions you made.
Are you governor of Minnesota?
I am.
And you don't know the number of children
I
residing
don't
in
have the
Minnesota?
specific numbers.
If I win, Sophie Rain's going to owe me $50 million. I'm going to raise teacher pay all over the state. That's what we're going to do, and we're going to proudly do it because in Florida, we don't let our women be exploited by OnlyFans degeneracy. We inspire them to be something more. And Sophie, there's still more time. There's still time left for you to quit OnlyFans and do something dignified. I say that with love. I've never attacked you personally. I truly want what's best for you and your family.
So a politician said he's going to take the money and give it to teachers. I don't think that's how that's going to go. I think he's going to take the money and keep the money. Just judging off history with politicians. But anyways, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You made it this far, you know what to do. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Look at an hour and 11-minute banger for you guys today, y'all. Not much going on. I got to go outside and clean. It's been windy. Hasn't been too dusty. Thankfully, it's not too messy. But I do got to go blow out my front porch, my back porch, back patio, blow all that out. Water the fake synthetic grass because it's dusty and my dogs like to lay in the grass, so the water kills all the dust and keeps it clean for them. So that's the plan, y'all. I'm eat me something good because I'm hungry. I've been fasting since yesterday at 6. It's 11 o'clock. By the time I do get to eat, it's probably gonna be 12:30, 1 o'clock. So we got a nice fast in today. I'm feeling good up here. A little slow. The carbs need to kick in a little bit before I start getting on point here. I kind of felt like my thoughts, what I was saying wasn't really going into depth. I would lose, what I was thinking and all that, but it will get better, y'all. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you guys on Friday on the next one. This is Segovia. I'm signing out the man cave. I'll see you then. Later.